Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Liz Kendall's heating is paid by the taxpayer. Well, what a surprise. Isn't that a surprise? All MPs have their heating bills paid by the taxpayer. Well, I never. Wouldn't believe it, would you? But it's true. Liz Kendall lives in a 4 million Notting Hill home while she's part of the Department of Work and Pensions, and she's the Employment Secretary who is responsible for taking away the eating allowance of the old age pensioners. Yeah, you can see what's going to happen, don't you? Liz Kendall and her husband are going to be nice and warm this winter, but the old age pensioners, they're going to have to freeze thanks to this rotten, dirty, rotten government we've got. I think the taxpayer pays everything for the MPs, their travel expenses, their travel abroad. They get paid by the taxpayer. Why can't they pay this for themselves? They've got the money, but of course if they did, they'd start moaning that they couldn't afford to pay it. They'd lose their money. Well, I think that I knew this was going to happen. I thought that this was going to happen because the MPs, well, they take everything from the taxpayer, everything. I mean, they're going to have, I suppose, next spring, they'll have a pay rise courtesy of the taxpayer. The taxpayer will have to pay all that. But it just shows you, doesn't it, Labour's hypocrisy. Labour's hypocrisy at its worst. Every Labour MP and other MPs that in the Tories as well, the Liberal MPs, and I dare say the Reform MPs, I dare say they have their eating paid for courtesy of the taxpayer. Yes, I'm afraid to say some people are going to have a choice this winter whether how to stay alive. They've got to make a choice whether to freeze or have the heating on. But of course these MPs, the likes of Liz Kendall, she'll be alright. She'll be kept nice and warm, like I've said. She'll be kept nice and warm in her 4 million Notting Hill home while everybody else has to freeze. Especially the old age pensioners and others as well, because there's not only old age pensioners, there's going to be others who are less well off, haven't got any money at all, like Kendall. I mean, they've got the same problem. They've got a choice between starving or eating, keeping warm. But what do you expect? This is what happens when the people who voted for Labour, wanted Labour in. This is what you get. Mind you, this has been going on years. This has the taxpayer funding the MPs. Not only do they get their eating paid for, they get their. I suppose they don't have to pay for a TV licence. The taxpayer pays for that. They get a free TV licence. The MPs, they don't have to worry about being taken to having threatening letters from the BBC or taken to court for non-payment of the TV licence. They get everything for free, these MPs. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, why you bother to vote for them. But like I said, all the MPs, they'll be kept nice and warm this this winter. This winter they'll be all right. This winter while old age pensioners have to freeze, can't have the heating on, shivering in the cold, got to have 2 or 3 blankets round them to keep them warm through the winter, while these MPs are living it up, having they'll have an enjoyable Christmas. They will, these MPs, but everybody else will have to suffer. But it's typically these MPs. I mean, Labour MPs are not the only one. You've got, like I've said, the Tories and the Liberals and Reform. The Reform MPs is like Nigel Farage and Lee Henderson and all the others. Even though I don't think Reform have got many MPs in the Parliament, but they'll be okay this winter. They'll have no problems about having to keep warm. They'll be laughing up. They'll be enjoying themselves, especially at Christmas Day, when they have a big Christmas dinner on the table, and everybody else in the country can't have one because there's some who won't be able to have a Christmas dinner. They won't be able to afford one. And I suppose these pensioners as well, they'll be the same. They won't be able to have a Christmas dinner. They'll probably have to make do with beans on toast. And these MPs, well, are lapping it up. They have no shame, do they, these MPs? They have no shame at all. They're not bothered one bit. Well, anyway, that's the end of this video. Mr. Politics here signing off. And remember, don't believe the lies.